And welcome back to another edition of the Dirty Laundry Podcast. Rami here, joined by my co-host Amir. We're gonna go ahead and continue our mock draft 17 through 32. Tuesday, if you tuned in, we uploaded our 1 through 16.
Yeah, and you guys can see the picks 1 through 16 right here as displayed on the screen. And
if you're on YouTube,
if you're on YouTube, but if you guys are just listening in, picks 1 through 16, go through the last episode, watch that episode. If your team's in the top 16, you should be watching these episodes and trying to be looking to get out of that spot.
Yep. And then so with the 17th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys are going to get Grant Delpit, safety out of LSU. Look. Safety has been a need for Dallas for a while now, and they go ahead and fill that spot here with a pretty polished player. Draft stock fell a little bit with a slow 2019 season due to injuries, and he still struggles with missed tackles and whatnot. But this guy's a physical safety that can cover well, defend the run well. Cowboys are going to go ahead and add to their talented secondary.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys add to this talented secondary. They replaced Jeff Heath. And I think Grant Delpit, he has problems with the tackling. Tackling is a concern, but it's not like he's not willing to help in the run game. Like you said, he's a good run defender because he just gets to the ball. He's always around the ball. And he sprints to the ball. He makes the hit sometimes, but sometimes he just doesn't wrap all the way up. That's going to be something that's going to be a teaching technique and point for a lot of NFL teams looking to take Grant Delpit here. I think the Cowboys are willing to take a chance on this guy's missed tackle problems, to get an upside in his coverage ability, his zone instincts. Man, his ability to layer zones and his understanding of zone concepts is
high football IQ.
Exactly.
Sure.
You don't see that in a lot of NFL players. So to get him at pick 17 is just crazy value here. To me, he's clearly the best safety in this class. Mm-hmm. People are nitpicky about the tackles, but I don't think it'll be a huge problem in the NFL.
And then at number 18, the Dolphins are going to go ahead and select Justin Herbert, quarterback out of Oregon. So this is our fourth quarterback taken off the board. Look, they fill a need at quarterback, and let's preface this by saying this. This mock draft has been what we would do, but this is kind of a mixture of both, what we would do along with what we kind of think is going to happen with this particular pick, because we don't love Justin Herbert that much, but we're going to get into that right now. He has a strong arm. He's accurate. Look, Dolphins would love to see this guy at 18. At 18 on the board. One thing he does lack is confidence and leadership, as well as he's really mistake prone, and that's one of the reasons that he went back for his senior year at Oregon to try and polish on those things. He really didn't, in my opinion. But still, you see the talent. He had a strong combine outing. 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in 2019, and he's athletic, can make plays with his legs. 6'6", prototypical size, can be a good quarterback in this league.
Yeah, I think he has upside to be a really good quarterback in this league. My fear is just his floor, and his floor, boy, is it low. The comp for me is I think he's a Mitchell Trubisky mixed with Ryan Tannehill. That's just my comp for Justin Herbert. I see that kind of quarterback with him. He has more physical upside than those guys for sure. But just specifically speaking as a processor and a passer, that's
you're saying he can be as
I'm saying
his ceiling is Mitchell Trubisky.
No.
Oh, you're saying what?
No. I'm saying that his ceiling is. I don't think he's as confident as Josh Allen. If he gets some confidence, maybe I think he's more accurate than Josh Allen. But if he just had the confidence and if he had those playmaking abilities that Josh Allen has, just like we were talking about with the quarterbacks in the first episode. Yeah. When we're talking about Derek Carr, when he's expected to make plays outside of the schedule, outside of the playbook, outside of the scheme, I think Justin Herbert just falls a tad bit short in those regards. And those are the same questions that we have about Mitchell Trubisky. Some of the same questions that we used to have about Ryan Tannehill and his fit in system game. So I think if he gets in the right system, he gets with the right coach, he gets with someone who's patient enough to develop him as a passer, not a thrower, but a passer. Yeah. Then Justin Herbert has potential to be a successful quarterback in this league. If not, I think he's going to bust horribly.
Right. And so at number 19, where did we go, Amir?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go with the Raiders. They're going to take Patrick Queen. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The Raiders, they have an obvious need at inside linebacker. I think. Tahir Whitehead was just released.
Yeah, we saw that
yesterday. So I mean, that's another hole there at inside linebacker, and it makes it more inevitable that the Raiders, with their second pick in the first round, are going to go with linebacker.
Yeah, so they have 2 picks here in this first round, and linebacker is a huge need for them. So,
what are your thoughts on Queen as a prospect specifically, though?
Look, he can shoot gaps quick. He can defend the run. The Raiders were terrible against the run last year. They got their receiver. They got Derek Carr. They got their receiver in this draft. They got Derek Carr. So, start building that defense, from the weakest spot, and that's going to be linebacker.
And you were telling me the other day, we were talking about the Raiders a little bit, and they're going to get Jonathan Abram back, who's going to be a leader on that back end. Why not get an inside linebacker who's going to be a surefire leader? For me, Patrick Queen, he's probably the smartest zone cover linebacker that's not named Isaiah Simmons. We're calling Isaiah Simmons a linebacker. Mm-hmm. But Queen has great instincts in zone, exactly like his teammate Grant Delpit. He has a great understanding of how to layer zones and exactly when to make breaks on the ball and things like that. I feel like Patrick Queen's going to be great for the modern day NFL linebacker. The only real question for him is the sample size. I mean, he hasn't played a lot of games, only had about 16 starts. So we'll see how he develops in the league.
Right. And so 20 through 22, we're going to go ahead and give you 3 picks right here. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to take Trayvon Diggs, corner out of Alabama. Eagles at 21 are going to take Justin Jefferson from LSU. And the Bills are taking T. Higgins. So here we have 2 more receivers come off the board.
Yeah, another wave of receivers here.
So let's start at 20 with Trayvon Diggs. What do you like about this fit in Jacksonville?
And you know what I really like about this fit with Trayvon Diggs? He's probably the best zone corner in this class. I mean, his length is just...
Him and A.J. Terrell.
Yeah, him and A.J. Terrell. You know what? I'll give Terrell that. But I feel like he has more ball skills than Terrell. He has more instincts than A.J. Terrell.
Yeah.
I love his length. And another thing he's the best at in this class, he's the best press corner in this class, clearly. Yeah. He's super strong, and it shows up on film. I think his long speed is actually underrated. People had questions about his speed. But just like we talked about with Okudah, the 40 time is going to tell you something. I mean, 40 times confirm what you see on film.
Right.
And for me, Trayvon Diggs, of course there were questions about the fluidity in his hips and reacting to second motions by receivers, but I really think his long speed is up there with the top echelon guys in this class.
Yeah, and again, this is another example of Jacksonville's defensive identity. They want to go defense again. They like Gardner Minshew.
And you trade away A.J. Boye. I mean,
you need to put someone back there.
You traded away Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Boye. I'm not saying it's a bad move. I don't know the logistics exactly what happened behind doors. Of course, Ramsey demanded a trade, but
yeah, Boye had something to do with their cap space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I mean, and they have to take those measures with cap space when you sign Nick Foles to an $88 million contract to be your third string quarterback.
And Boye got hit with the same thing when he was in Houston. They had to let him walk in free agency because
they had Osweiler's contract issue. So you see the bad quarterback decisions by these teams. This is exactly why me and Rami only have 4 quarterbacks going in the top 18. So, and actually the entire first round, we only have 4 quarterbacks going because the mistakes that these teams are making at this position. Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, Boye's out of there, Jalen Ramsey's out of there. That's some of the top 10 corners in the league. 2 top 10 corners in the league just left the door within a year in Jacksonville.
Right.
Go get another corner out there, Trayvon Diggs, physical, mean,
tough,
and he can
goon.
Yeah, tough goon. Yeah, goon. That's the exact word to describe Trayvon Diggs, goon, and he's gonna translate at the next level for sure.
Right. So let's shift gears to the Eagles pick. Really interesting pick. Everybody wants a receiver here. So do we. So we went ahead and got
Justin Jefferson. You know, I mean, the Eagles are rumored to be in the business of. They want a Henry Ruggs. You know what I mean? Jalen Reagor was a popular selection in the first round until his 40-yard debacle.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, Justin Jefferson went out there and impressed in the 40-yard dash. He gave us a 4.42. And on tape, he just looks amazing. He didn't look 4.42 fast on tape. And so the 40-yard dash was a little bit of a little boost to his stock. So, I mean, I really loved his performance at the Combine. I loved what he did at LSU all year. Just a great receiver downfield. And his production in the slot, I mean, it's just he's got potential to be, and you're thinking he's a skinny guy, and he comes in the Combine over 200 pounds.
Yeah,
so you can tell he's been working at this point. Over 200 pounds, you run faster than everyone thought you were. So
surprised a lot of people that
exactly
that 40.
The production was there. We just didn't know if the elite level athleticism was there, and he proved it. He passed the test with flying colors.
And let's talk about his stats in the 2019 season: 111 receptions,
Exactly.
18 touchdowns, 1,500 receiving yards. That's insane. I mean, that's not easy to do. Yeah, this is the right pick here. Would easily be Wentz's favorite target going into next season. He showed his speed at the combine, makes contested catches. So, at first, before the combine, I really wasn't too high on Justin Jefferson. I always said, LSU, a lot of their players are going to get, inflated, in these mock
scouting
drafts.
helmet, yeah.
But no, this is the right pick here and the next best available receiver.
Yeah, and at 22, we're going to see another receiver jump off the board here, this time out of Clemson, a familiar school for receivers, speaking of scouting helmets. But the next talented Clemson receiver, the next first-round Clemson receiver, is T. Higgins going to the Buffalo Bills here at 22.
Yep. Look, big guy, 6'4", 215. You mentioned, Josh Allen's receivers, how short they were. What was the average height?
What was the average height of Josh Allen's receivers? Like 5'10" last year?
Like
something absurd like that. They were about as tall as me and Rami are.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's insane. Cole Beasley was out there. John Brown was out there. John Brown had a really nice year for the Bills. And I think that just like what we're talking about, in the NFL passing game, you want your vertical deep threat guy, and then you want your number one receiver guy. T. Higgins gives you upside to be a number one receiver guy. A lot of people don't like the bigger receivers nowadays because the NFL is all about separation. But trust me, T. Higgins has the long speed to compete and burn in the NFL. He might not be the best route runner.
He has trouble creating separation off the line.
Off the line of scrimmage, I would say he has trouble in press situations, which he shouldn't have because he's that
We've seen him get shut down against Ohio State.
Maybe he's gotten stronger, and that's what I like to see. We didn't see him at the Combine, so we'll see him at Clemson's Pro Day. We'll see what he's got, and that'll be a big test for him. That 40-yard dash is going to be a big indicator of how high T. Higgins goes.
Right, and let's look at his stats. 59 receptions last year, 1,100 yards, and 13 catching touchdowns.
Yeah, all this dude has done is produce at Clemson. For the last 3 years that he's been there, he's been a force to be reckoned with. He was a veteran presence on that team. He's a great leader. I really feel like T. Higgins to Buffalo is one of my favorite fits in this draft. Like you were talking about Josh Allen earlier.
Yeah.
When you have a quarterback, I don't want to call Josh Allen inaccurate, but he's not the most accurate. So when you have someone who struggles with accuracy a bit, you give him a big body receiver to have that catch radius to make up for the mistakes that Josh Allen might make in the red zone or say on 50-50 go balls.
Right. So let's go for these next two picks. The New England Patriots and the Saints pick back-to-back, and the Patriots take Xavier McKinney, safety out of Alabama. Saints taking Laviska Shenault, receiver out of Colorado.
Yeah, these are truly two of some of my favorite fits in this draft. Xavier McKinney is... He just sounds like a Patriot. He seems like a Patriot. The versatility that he offers in the box, playing up high. There's some questions for me. He even offers return as a blitzer at times. You know what I mean?
He's lined up all over the field.
Exactly. He lines up at slot corner at times, even sometimes for Bama as well. So he was the middle linebacker of Alabama's defense. Dylan Moses wasn't calling the plays. It was Xavier McKinney lining everyone up and making sure everyone was in the right spot to make these plays. And so I think McKinney, he definitely hurt his stock with the 40-yard dash.
Yeah.
He didn't help himself there. But I think the Patriots will say, hey, we'll sacrifice some speed to have a guy who's that intelligent on the back end.
Yeah. Plays downhill, has, overall great speed, at least on field from what we see on film.
Oh, he's the hardest hitting safety in the class, too.
Good in coverage, good against the run. Similar to Isaiah Simmons in terms of versatility, can line up anywhere. He's lined up at linebacker at Alabama.
Right.
I'm not sure how 6'1" Xavier McKinney is going to, fare, inside, but, safety, wherever you want to line him up at, he's going to have an immediate impact. So 24, the Saints go with Laviska Shenault. Why do we pick this here?
You know what? This is going to be a little bit of a luxury pick for the Saints and a little bit of a pick that they're going to expand on what they did last year. You saw how well Taysom Hill worked for the Saints in those situational type play calling for Sean Payton. I think the Saints are going to let Taysom Hill walk. You know what? We're going to take the Taysom Hill replacement, Laviska Shenault. Laviska Shenault is literally what Taysom Hill is, but he's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Taysom Hill is super athletic.
Ran a 4.58 40.
Yeah, he ran a 4.58 at 220.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? This guy's huge. You just get the ball in his hands, and he's going to make plays. At Colorado, they'll hand it to him. They'll toss it to him. They'll throw it to him. They'll let him throw it.
You give Sean Payton another Swiss Army knife, that's dangerous.
Another Swiss Army knife, it's going to be totally insane for the Saints offense and play calling. It offers a lot of upside for Drew Brees as a quarterback, being able to throw screens to him and not having to use that arm as much, because we see the Saints doing that, going more to the short game. And Laviska Shenault offers a lot of opportunities after the catch. The only real questions you have with him are the injuries. That's why I think the Saints are a team that can take him, because say he's hurt for the first 4 weeks, it's not going to kill them.
Yeah.
But when they do get him in the playoffs, it might kill you as another team, as the opposers. So I feel like that's probably one of the best fits in the first round is Laviska Shenault.
This can be their guy that can, take the top off the defense. It's supposed to be Ted Ginn, but, he's old. Get this guy 4.58, long speed, knows how to use his size to his advantage. This is the right pick here.
Yeah, for sure. And at 25, we're going to see the Vikings take a cornerback. They're going to take C.J. Henderson out of Florida. Now, what are your favorite things about C.J. Henderson?
Look, he's another long, physical corner.
Yeah, this class is deep. We just talked about that last video.
Yeah, look, Minnesota needs a corner. They can put Henderson on those number one receivers instead of Xavier Rhodes, whatever they're going to do with him.
Right, and when you have the quicker... if you retain Xavier Rhodes... he's going to have to play the role of basically what Brandon Browner did for the Patriots a few years back. He's going to get a whole bunch of PI calls, but you're just going to have to match him up on the big receivers.
Yeah.
That's about it, because what he showed in 2019 was horrible. There's a chance that the Vikings just go out and cut Xavier Rhodes, and if that's the choice, Henderson's even more of the selection here. I think Henderson can stay with the twitchy, fast receivers.
4.39 40.
4.39 40. You know what I mean? And it's not even like it's just long speed. Henderson has the change of direction and the hip fluidity to be a great man corner, super sticky. And he has great ball instincts, and he's just a playmaker. He's one of those guys who, if he gets around the football, he's ripping at it, he's punching at it, he's trying to make a play on the ball.
Yep. And another thing about Henderson, a lot of people think that he's the best corner in this draft. Not us, but you see his talent. That just tells about how good he is.
You definitely see the potential on the next level.
Mm-hmm. And then at 26, the Miami Dolphins go ahead and take their edge rusher. They build their defense, and they take K'Lavon Chaisson out of LSU.
Yeah, they're going to take K'Lavon Chaisson, and I think that this is a pick that the Dolphins can actually make. A lot of teams, for me, Chaisson's not one of my favorite prospects in this class. I feel like his production at LSU, and a lot of people are going to point to, he was a situational pass rusher. He wasn't rushing on all downs. His rush percentage wasn't super high. But I would say that his pass rushing isn't refined. I think he's a quick, bendy rusher off the edge, and I think he does have to develop a counter move and develop some power in that pass rushing set. He's on the smaller side. And so I think for the Dolphins at 26 here, you get one of the best players available at this spot, and you get another impact player at edge. The Dolphins have now selected a tackle in our draft, a quarterback, and an edge player.
Really starting to build their team.
Those are the three most valuable positions in football, and you just got them all in the first round. I think there's no better way to start this.
And you got Chaisson at 26. That's a steal right there.
It's insane value. Let's move on to another pick where we see insane value. 27, the Seattle Seahawks are going to go get their next franchise tackle. Who is it, Rami?
Mekhi Becton, tackle out of Louisville. Huge athletic tackle with quick feet. He's 6'7", 370, enormous dude. Look, Seattle needs line help, whether you're going to line him up, alongside Dwayne Brown or, for now, and then then move him in to left tackle when he retires or, whatever goes on over there.
Right.
Not overwhelmed with speed rushers coming off the edge because of his quick feet, athleticism.
Yeah, and he has great hips, man.
Yeah.
He just moves so well for a big guy like that. The only problem I have with him is at Louisville, At Louisville, you see him at times with the ACC competition, since he's so big, he's so physical, he's so strong.
Yeah,
he forgets and he gets lost in his technique a bit. He'll go away from his technique and just start mauling guys, just start throwing them around. And sure, it looks good on tape, looks good on Twitter, but in terms of the NFL stuff, man, the hand placement was a big problem for me in 2019.
Yeah.
And that's why that's frankly why we have him dropping down to 27. I just felt like he was a bit raw. Reminded me a bit of Eric Flowers coming out.
Right. If we were that high on him, we would have had him, go in the top 15.
Oh, for sure.
But you see the potential. He's raw.
You definitely see the potential. And I think if any team can bring it out of him, it's going to be Seattle. And if Mekhi Becton sees himself dropping this far, I think the motivation and all of that stuff combined with the great culture in Seattle will create a next left tackle for that team.
Right, so let's give you the next 3 picks here. 28, the Baltimore Ravens take Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. Tennessee Titans, Julian Okwara, edge defender out of Notre Dame. And then the Green Bay Packers take KJ Hamler, receiver out of Penn State. So let's start with Kenneth Murray here, linebacker out of Oklahoma. Crazy athletic guy, scary going downhill. He's really fast. The Ravens need a linebacker. They've missed C.J. Mosley. Need a guy that can, control and patrol the middle of the field, and can really in this new NFL with screen passes. You get this screen passes and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's sniffing it out.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. You get this quick, fast, athletic guy close to the line of scrimmage, and he's going to put an end to that stuff.
Yeah, man, he's definitely one of those sideline to sideline cats. He can make all those plays. He has the speed to do it, the athleticism to do it. A lot of Ravens fans are pointing to the edge spot here. They want an edge defender. I feel like the Ravens got production out of subpar edge defenders this year.
Yeah.
The middle of the field was a specific problem for the Baltimore Ravens. C.J. Mosley was missed badly. And so I feel like you get Kenneth Murray in here. He's going to make some unreal plays for the Ravens. I feel like this guy's just such a Raven. I mean, he's Oklahoma Sooners, so I feel like the Ravens have just got to go and take him here.
Yep, and then the Titans going with Julian Okwara. Why'd we go with this, Amir?
Yeah, I was thinking about an Alabama player on edge here for Mike Vrabel because I know that's what he likes to do. Anthony Jennings was going through my mind. Terrell Lewis was going through my mind. But none of them offer the upside that Okwara offers. I feel like Okwara's floor is
another
right
steal
there.
at 29.
No, yeah, a crazy steal. Yeah. I feel like his floor is right there with all the guys I just mentioned. Anthony Jennings, Terrell Lewis. His floor is right there with him. But his ceiling is immensely higher. Okwara is just... He was a super physical player at Notre Dame. He showed crazy flashes of being an NFL game wrecker. And so I feel like if the Titans can get him here and get him, he can plug and play right away, and he'll make an impact on the Titans. But he still offers immense upside as a pass rusher.
Titans get a young, energetic, crazy talent in Julian Okwara at edge, and then you play to win the Super Bowl. To win the Super Bowl, you really want to win your division, and with a division with Deshaun Watson. And guys like that who Gardner Minshew is coming up, and Tua eventually.
Right.
You get this guy to create pressure. The Titans can really be a scary defense, and really push to win the AFC South there.
I love the Harold Landry selection out of Boston College.
Yeah,
I like that pick from them in the past. So I feel like they invest more here into the edge. I mean, left tackle's not a spot of need. I feel like they're going to retain Ryan Tannehill, so quarterback won't be a spot of need for them right now. And what's wrong with going edge? It's the most valuable spot here, and you're getting the best player available right here at 29. And so let's move on to 30.
Yep.
Another pick where I wanted to see a lot of people are, for me, the Packers pick, they've got to go receiver. Yeah. Either receiver or inside linebacker. 2 inside linebackers just went off here. You can think about Willie Gay because, I mean, you got Blake Martinez who's gone, who's horrific. But, I mean, you can look at those guys, but I think Willie Gay will fall to the second. He might even fall to the third. He's one of the most underrated players.
Right. There's a lot of good linebackers that can fall to second, third round.
They can fall to second, third round, and also there's a lot of receivers who can fall that way either. But I don't think there's a lot of receivers with this speed and this separation and after the catch ability that KJ Hamler has. Yeah. He's a T.Y. Hilton coming out type of guy. I mean, he'll offer some take the top off the defense type plays for Aaron Rodgers. He'll open everything up instead of having Jake Kumaro there on the outside.
Crazy vertical threat. And A-Rod would really love him there. And gets a lot of yards after the catch. Look, he's lethal when catching speed vertically. When he's running straight, there's almost no stopping him. And what was his 40 time?
He didn't run at the combine.
Oh yeah, he's not.
He's gonna run March 17th at Penn State's
Pro
combine,
Day.
and so at Penn State's Pro Day. Yeah, excuse me. And so we'll see what he runs there. That'll likely push him into the first round. As I'm expecting him. What's the over under on his 40? For me, the over under on his 40 is a 4.38, and I'm taking the under.
Really?
Yeah, I'm taking the under.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. But here's the thing. I really, really, really wanted Jalen Reagor here. I love Jalen Reagor.
Right, yeah, and that's what we're talking about. I wanted him Packers all the way.
Yeah, but just his 40 time is just atrocious. He really didn't get enough credit for what he did at TCU. The quarterbacks missed him over there a lot. But with that 40, did not impress me at all. So I got to take KJ Hamler instead, who I also really like in terms of speed and being a vertical threat.
I feel like that 40 not only pushes Reagor's stock down, it rises Hamler's up because he's the next best deep threat behind Ruggs.
All right.
And so I feel like he goes to the Packers there. Now we're going to get into these last two picks. The last two picks, we've got the Super Bowl competitors, the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to go ahead and go with a cornerback position. We saw in the Super Bowl their corners struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With Richard Sherman getting a little bit up there in age. We got them selecting A.J. Tyrell out of Clemson. And with the 32nd overall pick, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs selecting a running back here. I mean, I don't like running back in the first round, but this is a bit of a luxury pick here for the Kansas City Chiefs. And you get a player who can immediately step in and be one of those Alvin Kamara type.
Let's talk about DeAndre Swift first.
Yeah, let's talk
here.
about him.
Look, a speedy, shifty receiver. He wasn't really used a lot in the receiving game at Georgia, but he's shown he can catch. He had 32 receptions last year. You have DeAndre Swift at 32, and you're the Chiefs. You just won the Super Bowl. You got to take him. Look, Damian Williams isn't bad, but you get this. DeAndre Swift is a really good, high ceiling guy. Look, corner, linebacker, interior offensive line, they're all needs for the Chiefs, right? But when you have the chance to make your offense just that much more unstoppable, you take advantage of that.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not just get ahead? Because all the teams this year are focusing on catching up and copying the Chiefs and whatever the hell they did in the formula that they took to win the Super Bowl. Why not take a step ahead? Go get a running back who offers upside to become Alvin freaking Kamara.
Yeah.
Imagine
you see his vision. Amazing vision.
Exactly. Imagine the Chiefs if they had Alvin Kamara on their team.
Yeah.
What would we be talking about right now? We wouldn't be talking about the NFL. It'd be over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the Chiefs go get a player like that. It just takes everything over the top for them.
Right. So then 49ers at 31, A.J. Terrell, corner out of Clemson. Great in both man and zone. Great, reading the quarterback's eyes and where he's going can cause a lot of turnovers.
Questions about his ball skills a little bit. What do you feel about that?
Look, I saw enough football IQ and how aware he is in zones it's not that much.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's not the end of the world, and I also
another
his
long physical corner. Another long physical corner.
Yeah, another long physical corner, and I think he's probably the longest guy. The longest guy, out of the guys that aren't named Okudah, because Okudah's wingspan is just insane. But Terrell offers immense upside as a zone cover 3 type corner, and I like him a lot for the Niners.
Yeah.
I like him especially in that division, playing against Seattle. You're playing against Arizona, playing against a lot of teams like that, and San Francisco is going to want to keep that secondary intact. Richard Sherman's not getting any younger. Emmanuel Mosley, I mean, he showed some things last year that I liked. Jason Verrett's been struggling with injuries his whole entire career.
Yeah.
I mean, the 49ers secondary, they return value at spots where you think they'd get nothing. I mean, they've got Tez Tabor in there, but he's a super project with the way he panned out in Detroit. But so I think taking Tyrell here, you can never throw too many darts at the secondary spot. You can never have too many good corners. So why not go get a polished guy from a great place, from a great culture, a great tradition there at Clemson, and he's been coached up the right way. You know what I'm saying?
And this is really similar to the Chiefs pick, as in, your defense is already dominant.
Right.
Just go and make it better.
Make it that much better. It's exactly how the Chiefs are with DeAndre Swift there.
And so that's going to be it.
That's going to about wrap it up there.
Our 17 through 32. We now have a completed mock draft. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to this Dirty Laundry podcast. We will be back possibly next Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday, we'll be back here, same time, same venue, same exact spots. You guys, make sure you guys tune in next week. We got a surprise for you then. We're not going to spoil it yet, but it's a bit of a surprise.
Mm-hmm. Stay safe, stay up, and yeah, man, that's going to be it.
Yeah, go listen to that new Uzi if you didn't listen to us last podcast.
Yeah, tune in next Tuesday. Let's go.